We're back on Hittin Hard with John Chuckery as we're going to talk about some of the Falcons draft philosophy moving forward and talking about Marcus Mariota and the changes in the offense. First, I want to talk to you a little bit about our friends at Built Bar. Now, look, I know a lot of you had your New Year's resolutions, get yourself in shape. Look, I'm on YouTube now, so I got to figure out a way to get myself in shape, right? I can't be looking like some beached whale out here on this, webcam and all the good kind of stuff now. So listen, if you're mission this year was to eat right and eat healthier, but you still get some of those cravings for some sweet snacks and things like that. Want you to go to Built Bar, go to built.com and check out some of their bars and amazing treats that they have out of there. Have you heard about the puffs? You haven't? All right, let me tell you what you're missing out on. So it's the first ever protein infused marshmallow. So they're fluffy, marshmallowy. They're just not a protein bar. They're a treat because they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Now, they've become a real fan favorite. You've got the yummy cinnamon, you got the churro, you got the coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie, got all kinds of great flavors for it. But these are all covered in 100% real chocolate, low calorie, high protein. So if you're looking for a way to replace the candy bar, which is not going to be good for you, all kinds of calories and sugar and different things like that, the puffs are definitely the way to go. You go to built.com. Look at the chart, for instance. Take what Built Bars, contain: 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, but 17 grams of protein. Now, compare that to like a candy bar: 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, sometimes more than that, all kinds of net carbs. Let's face it, those things are not going to be as healthy for you. These puffs are a way to go to get yourself a healthy snack, but still kind of get that craving and get yourself that sweet tooth fix, right? Mint brownie, coconut, chocolate almond. There's all kinds of great new bars that are on built.com. White chocolate cookies and cream is the newest flavor for this month. So listen, if you're like me and you need that substitute, I always did get into the protein bars and the snacks and stuff like that because I'm like everybody. I get a sweet tooth. I want to have something that's kind of sweet. The puffs are definitely the way to go. But go to built.com and check out their line. And look, all about taste, all about making it delicious, but certainly a much healthier alternative for you. And if you go to built.com and you use the promo code LOCKED15, you get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCKED15 and you get 15% off your order. Go to built.com today. All right, back with you on Hittin Hard with John Chuckery as we talk about the Falcons' offensive philosophy. So if we know that Marcus Mariota or your next quarterback coming in, we're not going to be able to just toss it around 600 times in this offense, the Falcons are going to have to figure out a way to still move the ball and still become, a scoring offense. This will be an opportunity for Arthur Smith to put his imprint and his impression on this offense the way that he did in Tennessee. Now, to be fair, they found the right guy. They hit a home run, grand slam, 3 grand slams in an inning, if you want, in Derrick Henry. And those guys are not easy to find. Second round pick that becomes a 2,000-yard running back. But think about in 2008, how the Falcons stabilized their offense. So if we go back the season before in 2007, which I believe was the most disastrous year in Falcons history, you're looking at Mike Vick being sent to Leavenworth prison. Bobby Petrino comes in and quits after 13 games. And you're stuck with Byron Leftwich and Joey Harrington and Chris Redmond at quarterback. Arthur Blank is making all kinds of crazy comments on Monday Night Football and all this kind of stuff. It was a disaster of a season. They come into 2008, bring in a new general manager from New England and Thomas Dimitrov. They bring in a new head coach, the DC from Jacksonville and Mike Smith, and they turn this thing around. That was another thing, too. They drafted awful in 2007. Jamal Anderson. Ugh. Whew. PU. That was Rich McKay's last draft pick, thank God. But they not only drafted Matt Ryan coming in, which was not a popular pick by any stretch of the imagination in 2008, but they went and found themselves the guy who was, and it turned out to be, the best free agent signing in the history of the Atlanta Falcons, and that was Michael Turner. So Turner comes over from San Diego. He's a backup running back to LaDainian Tomlinson, had some success, had some big runs, some big plays, but just never got that shot because you got a first ballot Hall of Famer at running back. He comes over here, and in that first year is 1,500 yards, whatever it was, 15 touchdowns, a dozen touchdowns, 16 touchdowns, whatever it was. It was a whole mess of touchdowns and 1,500 yards for it. And it stabilized the offense. Yeah, they had Roddy White, but let's face it, they had Michael Jenkins, and I want to say, oh gosh, was it like Martrez Milner was one of their tight ends? I mean, just they didn't have a lot of offensive weapons. Didn't have a lot of offensive pieces. Remember, they drafted Harry Douglas in that '08 draft as well, so he's a rookie wide receiver coming in. They didn't have a lot of pass catching pieces all around them. They won because they played just good enough defense and they could run the ball and just maintain. And it got them to 11-5 in that first year under Mike Smith. They go to the playoffs, they lose in Arizona. We know what the story is and all that. So as you look forward right now, looking at the running back room, Mike Davis, 3.6 yards a carry and 500 yards. Okay. He may not even be here when all is said and done. Damian Williams is coming back. I don't know what he is. Nobody knows what he is. Kadri Ollison signed back up. Okay. I like Ollison. I want to see him get his chance to do something, but I have no idea what it's going to be. You have no idea what it's going to be. I don't have any idea what it's going to be. Right. So we're hoping for the best there. And then Cordell Patterson, who thrived in this offense last year, but he's not a 250 carry running back in the NFL. You're not going to use him like that. You're going to use him for 150, 60 carries. You're going to use him for 50, 60 receptions, right? You're going to use him, and I don't want to say gimmick, but you're going to have to gimmick your way, with him a little bit. But he's not an every down running back in the NFL. You have to pick your spots with him in the NFL. So as you start to look forward to not just this season, but next year, let's say the Falcons aren't in the mix for the Bryce Young, CJ Stroud sweepstakes. Because if you're not in that 1, 2, 3 draft pick area, your chances of getting Stroud or Bryce Young aren't going to be that high. If you're 6, 7, 8, somewhere around in there, you're not going to be in the CJ Stroud or Bryce Young business. So that's why, first off, I think it's important to draft a quarterback this year to at least get somebody in here and get somebody learning the system. They may not be the answer long term, but they may be enough to get you through the next couple of years. Or if you do get lucky, you can be in the quarterback sweepstakes again next year. And whether that's you go second round, whether that's you move back, bundle some pieces, move back up in the first, all this kind of stuff. Figure out all the philosophies that you want, from there. But I do think it's a good idea to take a quarterback this year. Well, as that person's learning and Mariota's, taking over and he's doing his thing with his offense. If you look next year, one of the things about next year's draft that is a strong group is the running back position. Whether it's Jahmyr Gibbs at Alabama, whether it's Zach Evans at Ole Miss, whether it's Bijan Robinson out of Texas, there are a lot of good running backs that are coming into the draft next year. And so if you want to start to get some things turned around, this year, focus on defense. Go get my pass rusher at 8, or if you move back, get a pass rusher. Load up on your defense. Get your safety. Get, linebacker. Get all those pieces that you need on defense. Start loading up your defense. But next year, as you play through this offense, may not be a bad idea to think about, yes, I said it, a first-round running back. Because what you don't want to do in today's NFL is overpay. And I know the Falcons got all this cap space, but it doesn't make sense to overpay for a running back, for a used running back. In today's NFL, you take those running backs and you throw them into the fire, you burn them up, you do like Todd Gurley and Zeke Elliott, you burn all the tread off that tire immediately, right? You're running 100 miles an hour on those tires until there's just nothing but metal fibers showing, right? And so by the time they get to be free agency or that second contract or whatever, there ain't a whole lot of tread left. And now you're buying a used or damaged type of product. I don't want to get into all that because that, again, is just wasted money. Even if you've got 100, if you want to get somebody like that for a backup and a mentor and things like that, I get all of that at a reasonable price, but I'm not investing big money into a running back in free agency in today's NFL. But I would be open to the idea of next year, if it's a Robinson or whatever, using a first-round draft pick. Oh, you can't do all that. You can do that if that's what you need to do. If you have a quarterback that's Midland or you're not in the quarterback sweepstakes and you guys tell me best player available, it may be one of those running backs if you're not in that line. Now, a lot of things that have to go right. You have to fix your defense and you got to get some things out there. But my point is, from the offensive philosophy standpoint, because I do believe that, for instance, you may not have Calvin Ridley next year. In fact, I'll be willing to almost guarantee that you won't have Ridley. At this point, Ridley will either get off a suspension or not, which he probably will, but your GM has openly said that they were trying to trade him. So he may not be here. And it may be the chance for Arthur Smith, starting with next year's draft, to start to put the same imprint on this offense that he did when he was in Tennessee. Just something to think about, food for thought. We'll worry about more of that next year. When we get back on Hittin Hard, we're going to talk about the NCAA tournament, men's Final Four, coming up this weekend, plus some WrestleMania predictions as well. It's Hittin Hard with John Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta.